Good morning, grade 11 business studies learners, and welcome to our session this morning. It's so nice to see the same learners tuning in week by week. I see quite a few familiar names in the attendee box this morning. So very nice to see that you're following and that you're joining the sessions. So please continue with that. Okay, so you know by now for the learners that has been following us. I'm going to allow for 1 or 2 minutes just to get everyone signed in, settled, and then we'll kick off the session this morning. So let's allow for a minute or 2, and I'll be with you soon. All right, I think we are ready to start to get the session up and going this morning. Let me just make sure that I'm ready and settled. Close my camera. Okay, grade 11s. Oh boy, you know by now what the basic rules are. But for our new learners attending the session, let's just quickly recap the important information. If you're struggling to hear me, just make sure that your audio is on and that your speaker volume is turned up. Remember that you will automatically be muted when joining the session. So we will not be able to hear you. If you have any questions, please type it out in the question box. I'll open up the question box as we proceed with this lesson. Raise your hand function. Let's see if my learners are awake this morning and ready to start. Please just put up your hand. Thank you, Blessing, Dylan, Kayla, Jordan. Thank you, Reese. Okay, I can see the hands are being put up. Thank you for that. Remember to download this presentation in the resource box or in the handout box below. Then I just need to mention this. Attendees are encouraged to ask questions and leave comments. However, irrelevant or inappropriate comments will result in attendee being dismissed from the session. And then if I do not get to your question during the session this morning, please send me an email at info@impact.co.za so that I can see the questions that you still need answers on. Or if you are not able to, if you don't have questions within the session, but afterwards you have some questions, you are also more than welcome to send me an email and I'll get back to you. And then please go to our Impact website. All the recordings will be made available on our website to view, especially important going into the preparation for the term test as well as the November examination. Okay, so that's our basic rules for the session and guidelines for the sessions. I think we can start. Okay, what am I going to do with you today? So first of all, you know by now, grade 11s, I quickly do an overview of topics to be covered in term 3. I want to find out what's the progress that you're making with these topics. We will look at the layout and the format of term 3 test. You know that you'll be writing test very soon. We'll quickly look at the assessment tasks. We previously did this in a session as well. So I just want to quickly recap this just to make sure that you are informed and that you know where to go and find these tasks and that you complete your tasks. Then we're going to look at the marketing function. Okay, so this is a chapter that that forms part of term 3's work. And then finally, I'm going to look at the June examination 2020 revision sessions, and I am going to elaborate on how these sessions are going to work and why you need to tune into this session. Okay, so this is what we will focus on for today. Let's start. I'm going to open up the question box because I want to see your feedback. Okay, so we should do entrepreneurial qualities and success factors. We also going to focus on citizenship role and responsibilities. Today, we're going to look at the marketing function. We will not be able to go in complete detail on the marketing function, but we will have a quick overview. I will inform you what you should know about the marketing function. And then the last chapter for term 3 is the production function. The marketing function and the production function is lengthy chapters, okay? So you need to ensure that you spend enough time on each aspect of these 2 chapters. You can also see on the screen that the most amount of time has been allocated to the marketing function as well as the production function. Okay, so quickly type out in your question box, I want to know where are you with content. You can type out you are busy with number 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's just quick and easy. I just want to have an idea on where are you with these chapters. I'm going to open up the question box to see your comments. Just type out where are you at with term 3's work. Okay, I see Kayla, she's done with chapter 1, 2, and 3. Okay, great. I see learners are busy with the marketing function. Thank you, Kenneth. Give me some more feedback. Okay, chapter 3. Okay, so I can see that you're really making progress with your chapters. Thank you for that. Keep up the good work. Keep up the hard work. It's important that you keep up with each and every chapter each week. Okay, so before I move into the content section of this session, I want to talk about working through a chapter versus really understanding content within a chapter. Okay, so a common mistake that business studies learners do make is they summarize all of the content, right? So they take their textbook and from their textbook, they summarize the content. Okay, so let me stop right there. Just by a show of hands, put up your hand if you do the same. Okay, are you someone who takes the information in the textbook and summarizes the information? And summarizes the content. Okay, I can see there's a lot of you that follows this method of working through content. Okay, with that being said, this is important. Please make sure that you do not just copy information from a textbook to your summary page. You should ensure that the information that you are summarizing, you understand. Okay, so there's a big difference about summarizing content but not truly understanding, and it's just you're just writing or copying the information versus summarizing information but understanding what you are summarizing. Okay, so business studies learners, please take note of that. Please don't fall in the trap of just rewriting and copying your textbook. Okay, so ensure that you truly understand what you are busy with and why, what you are summarizing and how you are summarizing it. Okay, so I would like to mention that into today's session. It's quite important. I've seen with some of the other learners that their summaries is just a complete copy of their textbook without understanding the core content or the core concepts within a chapter. Okay, so very important for you to take note of that. Does that make sense? put up your hand. Let me see if you understand what I tried to explain and the point that I would like to bring to your attention. And now I want you to go and think. I'm seeing the hands coming up on the screen. Thank you so much. And I want you to go and think about this. Are you only copying information from one page to another, or are you truly understanding, investigating, inquiring information that's given in your textbook per chapter? Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that thought on the content. Okay, let's move on to the layout and the format of your Term 3 test. Okay, so for your Term 3 test, you can expect the following. The layout and the format for Term 3 test is exactly the same as your Term 1 test, okay? So I am just going to recap on that. It feels like Term 1 test has been written ages ago. So let's just look at the basic format and the layout of the test so that you know exactly what to expect. Okay, so Section A, grade 11s, we know by now is 20 marks. This will be a compulsory section in your term test, which means that all questions must be answered from the section. And then the type of questions that you can expect, grade 11s, you know, it's multiple choice questions, choose the correct term, match column A, column B. Okay, simple section A type questions. Then section B will be 40 marks. Okay, this is an optional, you will have optional questions within section B. And for your term test, grade 11s, you will have you have to answer one of the two questions. So 2 40-mark questions will be given to you. It will be required from you to only answer one. Please do not go and answer all the questions in this section, okay? You will not finish your paper, so make sure that you read through the instructions. You would remember in my previous session, I actually spoke about learners not reading the instructions, and a lot of you actually indicated that you do not read the instructions, you just jump into the paper and start answering. So be aware of those instructions, that how many questions should you answer. Take note of the time allocation and try to stick to that. All of these aspects contribute to you successfully completing your question paper. Okay, and then type of questions that you can expect, guys, is a case study, scenario type questions, and we went through this previously in our session. In section C, you know what's coming your way. You should be able to answer one of the two essay questions. Okay, so this is the layout of your question paper for term 3, and there you have it. Section A will be 20 marks, section B will be 40 marks, and section C will also be 40 marks. And your grand total for your term 3 test will be a mark out of 100. And you will have 1 hour to complete your 100-mark business studies paper. Okay, I think this is quite easy. The format is quite easy. So just ensure that you keep to the time limit and that you only answer the required type questions. Okay, so nothing new. You would remember that your term 1 test layout was exactly the same. Okay. Oh, let me just go one back. Okay, assessment tasks for term 3. So we did this previously, grade 11. So for term 3, we're gonna forget about term 1 and 2 now. Okay, we should be done with term 1 and 2's work. We should be with term 3. So I haven't even included the work from term 1 or 2, or included the assessment plan for work for term 1 and 2, because it should be done by now. Okay, so for term 3, you know this, grade 11, you would need to complete your project of 50 marks, and your project will deal with aspects of the marketing function. And that's why I also included the marketing function to our discussion today, because your task, your project, will also deal with the marketing function. And then term 3 test, take note that it will cover all the content done in term 3. So you must be done with all your content for term 3 before writing the test. Okay, so very important for you to take note of that. Let's just quickly open up the question box. I just want to see if there's any comments or information that you would like to share with me before I move on. Maybe I should ask you guys, do you have access to your project? Have you downloaded your project as yet? Have you worked through the questions? I would advise you to do the following. So if you are still busy with chapter 1 or chapter 2 of term 3, I would advise you to actually, in the meantime, go and download your assessment task for term 3, your project specifically. Go and take the time and read through your project, okay? And then when you get to the marketing function, you would be able to link some of the content in the chapter to questions asked in your project, okay? And then you can start completing your task, okay? So I would advise that you do that. So if you haven't downloaded your project as yet, make sure that you go and do it and that you start reading through the information. And when you get to the chapter dealing with the marketing function, you're already informed on what is expected in your task as well. Okay, so by a show of hands, I just want to make sure if you guys are still following me, does that make sense? Please put up your hand. Thank you, Jessica, Caitlin. Thank you, guys. I can see quite a few hands up. Thank you, Blessing, has been put up in, so that you do understand it. My next question before I move on, I'm also just going to ask you to put up your hand. How many of you have already downloaded your project and have started with your project? So let's just see by a show of hands. Okay, so definitely not as much hands that as what I've seen previously. So guys, this is what lies ahead for term 3 with respect to your assessments. So please take the time to go and download these assessments. Okay, so let's start with the marketing function. As I mentioned, I will not be going into each and every detail of the marketing function. This is a chapter that deals with I think you have 2 weeks to complete this chapter, so you can just imagine that the content that deals with the marketing function. But it's a very interesting chapter. It is very applicable, and therefore I think you would enjoy completing the marketing function as a chapter of term 3. Okay. So important terms and definitions relating to the marketing function. So I want you guys to actually download this presentation and add this to your summaries. Okay, so in order for you to have a better understanding of the marketing function, you need to know this these terms, okay? And the source of these terms or this information where I sourced it comes from the Department of Education. So please make sure that you do understand what is meant by the term promotion, target market, credibility, persuade, in order to persuade someone, communication, endorsement, banners in ASA, okay? So this is terms that will be used in questions, in case studies, in definitions. So in order for you to truly understand what is being asked or what is being explained, you should go and understand these terms, okay? And I included the definitions of each one to the slide. I would also suggest that you can, if you are working through the content specifically to the marketing function, add to your term list, okay? So if you can see these terms that are being used throughout the chapter that's not been included here, go and write down the term and the definition so that you have it with you. So download this slide. It's an important slide. It's important for you to understand these definitions. You should be able to define these words if asked in a question paper or in a short question. So therefore, please take the time to work through this and incorporate it into your summaries while you are busy with the marketing function. Okay. What is the marketing function? Okay, what does the marketing function do? Where do they fit in within a business? Okay, so I highlighted a few important aspects, but let's work through it. Okay, so I am going to just put on the spotlight again. It's easy for you and me to follow. So I summarize this shortly. Marketing deals with a lot of aspects, okay, but a summarized version of the explanation is the following. Marketing is used to deliver value to the customers to satisfy their needs, okay? So it deals with customers, satisfying needs and delivering value. The aim of the marketing function is to link the business's product with the needs and wants of consumers. Okay, so we want to link products and services of a business to the needs and the wants of customers, and that makes sense, right? We have a business, we sell certain types of goods or services, but these types of goods, goods and services satisfy certain needs and wants of a consumer. So the marketing function needs to bring that together. Okay, marketing also very important, grade 11s. This is, I want you to know this. Marketing also aims to get the right product or services to the right consumer at the right place at the right time. Okay, so this is an important aspect of marketing. Okay, so I want you to understand, especially bullet 2 and bullet 3. Okay, it's important for you to understand this. And then you will see these pictures are included. Can you see that there's a lot of aspects that deals with marketing, advertising, branding, internet, product, research, strategies, okay, and the different types of marketing that one gets. Okay, so this is a short description of the marketing function and what their role is within a business. Okay, I am just going to open up the question box again before I move on, just to see if you have any questions. Okay, I see there is a question on where to download the project. I'll get to that question afterwards. Okay, next up, the role of the marketing function in a business. Okay, so the marketing function supports the overall objectives of a business. And what is the main objective of a business? It's to maximize profits, to make a profit. The marketing team obviously needs to work closely with all the other business functions within a business, right? Okay. Marketing function also needs to understand and really know the customers they are working with. So they need to understand the needs of customers. They need to know the preferences, the likes and dislikes of customers. And they also need to understand the buying behavior of consumers. How do people spend their money on products? Okay, why do people spend their money on these type of products? Okay, and all of this influences the way a business markets their products and services. Okay. Then the role of the marketing function is to go and develop the marketing strategy of the business. Okay, and work on the marketing plan and use the elements of the marketing mix. Okay, so this is important. Go and look in your textbook and see in your textbook, what do I mean with marketing mix? Okay. And then they also are responsible for developing a sales forecast and predictions and to provide this information to the different business functions. Okay, so can you see that the marketing function not only deals with only the advertisement that we see on a billboard or that we hear on radio or that we see on the internet or in a magazine. There's a lot of aspects that deal with the marketing function. Okay, and in the exam or in a test, all of these different elements that forms part of the marketing function can be examined. Okay, so questions can be in short questions in section A. There can be scenario-based questions on the marketing functions and all the elements that deals with the marketing function. And definitely essay questions can be based on the marketing function. Okay, let's move on. Then, for this chapter specifically, I have summarized the focus areas, okay? So what do you need to know about the marketing function in a business? Okay, you should obviously be able to define the marketing function thoroughly in a test or an exam, and the same will be required from you to do in your task. Okay, so go to your textbook on page 183 and you're going to read the information on what marketing is. Then I want you to go and use different resources to add to the definition, okay, to make sure that the definition that you're providing is thorough enough and includes all the information to eventually define the marketing function. Okay, so you should be able to do this. Then on page 186 of your textbook, there you will find the purpose of marketing. Very important for you to understand. Okay, so once again, go to your textbook, going to read the information on the purpose of marketing, and then incorporate information from other sources to complete the aspects related to the purpose of marketing. And here I would advise you to maybe go and use previous memorandums where a lot of information, all the possible answers are given and all the important aspects of a definition or the purpose are given. So go and add that to your summary page. Okay, very important, the 7 marketing instruments. Okay, that you will also find in your textbook. So the basis of this chapter will definitely be compiled in your textbook. And then marketing activities. So this is quite a chunk of the chapter, okay, that you need to understand. So please ensure that you go and work through this content. The marketing activities, definitely essay questions can be based on the marketing activities. And you will also see that, as I mentioned, this forms a part of the bulk of your information. Okay, then this is information that I added to the slide this morning. I just felt that this is a very nice summary of the different types of advertisements and how you can advertise according to these headings. Okay, so I would advise you to download this and incorporate this in your summary page. I don't think this is set out as clearly in your textbook or in the additional notes that you received. So I therefore incorporated this to my slide this morning. I just want to open up the question box. I see I have a few questions. So in the handout box, grade 11, you will see there's two PDFs uploaded. Quickly open up your handout box. You will see there's two PDFs uploaded. The one is the presentation that you're seeing on the screen now, and the other one is chapter 16, and I said it's the marketing function. Okay, so this is the additional impact notes. I don't know if you're aware of these notes. I'm sure most of you have access to these notes. They are available on my impact as well. But these notes tell you exactly what you should know about this chapter, where you should focus on in this chapter, and information that's not given in your textbook is also given in these additional notes. So I would highly recommend that you download these notes and really work through these notes in detail, okay? And they also give you questions from previous exam papers only based on the marketing function. And that is a very nice summary to have. So you can complete your chapter on marketing function, and then you can go and work through those questions, okay? For the Afrikaans learners, these notes, the marketing notes, the bemarking notas, are also available on my impact. Okay, so I only uploaded the English now, but please go to, I said my impact, it's available there, but it's also available on the guided learning platform. Okay, so because I see there are learners requesting the Afrikaans version. I've not included this in my presentation this morning, but this is available on my Impact or on the guided learning platform. Okay, so I hope that is clear for you to download. Just for interest sake, I would like to see how many of you are actually using these additional notes per chapter that we have available for our business studies learners. Just put up your hand if you are using this and if you are finding it easy to follow. Okay, so I can see there's a few learners that know about these notes, but for the learners who don't know about these notes, so for each and every chapter in your textbook, there's additional notes already set up for you. These notes are available on our guided learning platform, so please go and download them, and you need to incorporate it into your work, because the textbook does not cover all aspects thoroughly enough, and therefore we need to work with additional resources, with additional notes. So very important, we cannot just rely on our textbook to be sufficiently prepared. Okay, so I think the message is clear on that. Types of questions, grade 11s, that you can expect in your on this chapter on the marketing function. So this is quite a nice question that I sourced from previous exam papers. So you will see this is 10 marks, okay? So and all of this information, the forms of packaging, okay, forms part of the marketing function chapter. So as I mentioned previously, there's a lot of aspects of the marketing function that you need to know, and one of those aspects are the different types of packaging that one gets. So how they usually ask this question is they will give you an example, okay, and then, or a scenario, and then you need to name the different types. You need to name the different types or the form of packaging applicable to each of the scenarios. Okay, and 10 marks, that's quite a lot. So it's short questions, so you should be able to apply your knowledge. Okay, and then you also get direct type questions. List any 5 facts on the importance of trademarks. But trademarks also forms part of the marketing function. Okay, so for 10 marks, you should be able to list 5 facts of the importance of trademarks. Okay, so this is a typical example of questions that you can expect in the exam or in your term 3 test. So here we have another question, question 5.1.2, also from a previous exam paper. And here you will see a 12-mark question and a 4-mark question. Okay, so they give you the following: marketing is an important function of any business. Okay, we know that by now. Marketing function is an important function of any business. Then they ask us, one component of marketing is standardization and grading of products. Describe standardization and grading. So if I can remember correctly, these terms are not part of that summary that I included previously. So this is a very good idea to actually go and write down the term standardization and grading and go include the meaning of this. Once again, this forms part of the marketing function. So it comes down to all those elements, all those key points of the marketing function as a chapter. Then the next one, various distribution channels is available for marketing to use in the distribution of their products. Okay, compare the advantages of direct and indirect distribution. 12 marks, that's a 12-mark question, that's a lot of marks. Okay, so they want us to compare the advantages of direct and indirect distribution. This aspect form part of the marketing function. So I would advise all of you to go and work through the marketing function and then go back to these slides that I've presented here and then go and answer these questions, okay, just to make sure that you are covering the aspects that you need to cover. So I want you to take note of this. I already mentioned this previously. So the questions in the marketing function or based on the marketing function can be short questions, longer case study type questions, as well as essay questions. And now I've included examples for you to see what to see what I mean with this. So this is again a question that deals with the pricing strategies, also forming part of the marketing function. But here, question 9, you will see this is a 40-mark question based on the marketing function. Okay, and here remember now one of the questions we dealt with previously is they gave us short scenarios and they asked us to link the scenarios to different forms of packaging. Okay, do you remember that? That was a few slides ago. Now they ask packaging again, but in an essay type question. So the question comes down to you need to discuss the purpose and requirements of good packaging, as well as the different forms of packaging that can be used when packaging products. So this will be your essay question. So can you see that the same content has been taken? One question, they gave us scenarios, and we need to apply our knowledge to these scenarios. And here they're asking us the content that deals with the shorter type questions. They asked us in a summary, in an essay question. Okay, so can you see that questions? I cannot tell you that this content will not be asked in an essay question, or this content will not be asked in an essay question. Any of the content can be compiled into an essay question or can be converted into shorter scenario-based questions. So that is important for you to understand. I actually receive a lot of emails from learners wanting me to break down the content, telling them that, okay, for essay questions, it will only be required from you to answer questions based on these topics. But can you see now that I don't have a summary to give you, because all of the content can be asked in a essay type question, in short questions, or in a scenario based question. Okay, so I hope that is clear. I just want to open up the question box to see some of the questions. Okay, I see there's questions on a previous online session. I'll get to those questions right now. Okay, so put up your hand. Does this make sense? Are you still following? Thank you, Amy. Jessica. Kayla, thank you so much. Francois, thank you for putting up your hand. Okay, so grade 11th, just to summarize what I'm explaining to you now. So download these slides, download the additional notes if you do not have it. Go and work through the marketing functions, come back to these questions, and then answer your questions. Okay, and then go and answer these questions. That we can see what your understanding is. Okay, once again, this is another essay question that they that is dealt with, or that deals with the marketing function. In this essay question, they talk about the marketing mix. They talk about, I'm confusing my Afrikaans and English. They talk about the product policy, also forms part of the marketing function, and very important, they talk about the product life cycle. Okay, so this also forms part of the marketing function. So, like I said previously, the marketing function deals with a lot of aspects. Okay, so please make sure that you understand it. So in these slides, there's 2 essay questions for you to go and answer after you complete the chapter. Please ensure that you go and do so. Okay, grade 11. Now I really would like to have your attention. Sit straight up so that I can explain this to you very clearly. Okay, so from the 1st of July, all the June examination papers of this year, remember you are not writing a formal June examination, but the papers will still be made available to you. So you will receive the papers on the 1st of July. You just put on. And I added a calendar to show you exactly when you should be done with what. Okay. So here you will receive your June examination papers. Then for the next 2 weeks, we will not be presenting online classes for the different subjects. We'll take these 2 weeks, do you see it, to go and work through these question papers, okay, for all your subjects. So not only for business studies, for mathematics, languages, some of your other subject choices that you have, all of these papers will be made available, okay. Then you need to take the 2 weeks to go and work through these questions, very important, okay. Then from the 13th of July, there you have it. We will start with the June examination revision sessions. Okay, so what we're going to do there is for all of your subjects in both languages, in Afrikaans as well as English, June examination revision lessons will be presented. What are we going to do there? We're going to work through the questions in the exam paper to give you feedback on how you should approach certain type of questions, okay, and why this would be the correct answer versus an incorrect answer, and where you should be take note of and not get confused with certain content, okay. So each subject will deal with that. You need to go and work through these question papers really to get the value of these sessions, okay. With each session, you bring with your answer script and you work through this paper with us during the class, okay. So the timetable will be communicated shortly to all the learners. We will start off with grade 12 and then we'll move over to our grade 11 learners, okay. So you will see on the schedule that your sessions will be scheduled somewhere in July for you to attend, okay. So please make sure grade 11s that you take the time, go to work through these papers. Do not underestimate the value thereof, and then we'll get into the sessions and really work through the June examination revision lessons. So that is quite important for you to take note of and to know what is coming your way. Okay. Then any questions? So now I have, I'm going to open up the question box and now I can answer some of the general questions that I received. So a learner that ask where can I find the previous lessons presented, okay. So these lessons, these recordings are made available on our website. So you will see on the website, if you go to COVID-19 online schooling, you will see there's past events or past classes, and then you're just going to filter on your grade and your subject that you want the videos on, and then you will find all the recordings of the sessions that has previously been hosted. Okay, so I hope that is very clear. Then I did mention to you the Afrikaans note is available on guided learning as well as on my impact. I have a question on where can I find previous past papers. Okay, so this is a good question. Previous papers you can find on two places, okay. You are more than welcome to also download the papers from the Department of Education, okay, and that will be available on their website. But the papers that we have available for you is on guided learning. You'll go to previous exam papers or to the resources section on guided learning, and if you click on that, you will find all the different folders with previous exam papers, okay. And that's not only unique to business studies, you will also find question papers for all of your other subjects as well. So I hope that is clear. If you are not on guided learning, please send us an email to info@impact.co.za so that we can assist you. There's a lot of information on guided learning that I want you to be able to access. Okay, any more questions from your side? I've answered some of the general. Oh, there was a question, where do you download the project? Okay, sorry, I missed that one. So the project that you need to download is available on My Impact. So if when logged into My Impact, you will be able to download your project. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Grade 11s, please note that the marketing function was only a short introduction just to get your to familiarize yourself with what you should know on the marketing function, as well as to introduce you to this chapter for the next week. so that you can complete your assignment. Okay. I don't see any other questions in the question box right now, but if you can think of anything maybe after the session, please send me an email. Okay. Then for our new attendees, if you're not registered with Impact, please send us an email to info@impact.co.za and we will get back to you. And then grade 11, thank you so much for attending this morning. It's very, very nice to see all the familiar names and comments and learners following us week by week. So please keep on attending the sessions. And then I'll see you very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day and good luck with the rest of the week. Thank you. Bye-bye.